All right, I have returned, and we are faced with lots of errors. It's fine. We'll sort it out. Basically, what I want to do is I want to run through the existing dictionary and recreate these resource files. So it could, like, I could probably script something to generate this, but it's not that many. We'll just do it. Here, maybe if we go side by side, can we, let's see, stop the soundboard. If I close all of the scenes, am I allowed to shrink? Great, no, okay. This is fine, this will be fine. All right, so we're gonna create, so for every entry in the dictionary, we're gonna create a new resource file. So we're going to create a new resource sound effect. It's going to be called turret fire. Right, and so here it is. And we add elements, and it is going to be our turret fire. Hey, there it is right there. Combat. I'm going to change the default for the resource because most of our things have a pitch variation of 0.9 to 1.1 or 1.2, 1.1. So we didn't do that. There we go. So we get that default there. And that's it. Great. So then we add another one. Let's go out of here. We're done with this. We add another sound effect, and add a folder, create a new resource. Yeah, sound effect. It's going to be zombie death. And this is also combat category, but we're going to add 3 elements, and this is going to be, we're doing 10, 12, and 13. 10, 12, and 13. Pitch variation is supposed to be 0.7 to 1.3. Great. Make sure these are saving as I navigate. Great. Okay, so then we get rid of this. And so just walking through things. I think one thing we could do is let's make a default. Yeah, let's make a default one. For default effect, I know what we can do. Here's what we'll do. So we want to change the resource. We're going to add a new sound effect called default. Use this if no specific sound effect is assigned. So one thing that having a folder of resources, I think when we do the loading, one thing we'll do is we'll log an error if there are multiple resources with the same sound effect. Because I don't think we're going to support that. To do that, we would need to like have... We could support that. I think for now we're not going to explicitly. We'll just have a dictionary of sound effect to the resource. So that means all the ones where we just have this placeholder, then we're using impact meet 01, I'm just going to drop. From here, we're not going to bother creating resources for it since there's nothing really in there anyway. So that's going to save me some time now, and just express like what the current situation is, right? So we're going to add a sound effect resource here for our electric crackle. Crackle. And we just have the one variant. And with default pitch variation. All right, done. We have our zombie idle groan. So I'm just going to create a resource here called zombie groan. Not that kind of groan. And we have 6 variants. So we'll go into our samples. And these are 16 through 21. And now the order doesn't matter, so we'll just take... I misclicked there, but again, the order doesn't matter, so just whatever. And the pitch variation here is 0.5 to 1.2, 0.5 to 1.2. I've decided. And then we can go back to electric crackle because there should be ambience, and so should zombie groan. This doesn't have any gameplay significance now, or won't in the immediate future, but I could imagine we could do certain things where we have like different things that happen to the audio effect based on the category. Right now we're just using the category for the soundboard tool. Anyway, I'll get rid of that. We'll do fire crackle. Fire crackle. This is another ambience sound. Crackling.wav is what it is. Okay. And then we haven't done any of the UI sounds yet, so it's all placeholders, so that all goes away. And then what we want to do is not do that. We could do that. What we want to do is we want to say, let's go max here. So what does AI write for us here? For effect in our enum, we can look for a file. No, I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to, let's see. I think we have some examples, right? If we look in the other, like an obstacle registry, we have a load obstacle types. And what this does is it grabs our directory and it does this. Yes. So we're going to do something similar, except we're going to have var sound sfx directory, sfx resource extension, and then we update this to be something like that. We update this to be something like that. We update the logger. Okay, while we have a file name, if it's a TRES file, we use resource loader to load it. We check to see that the type of the thing that we loaded is in fact our sound effect. We get the sound effect property. No. To make this work, we need to actually say in the resource what kind of effect it is. There we go. Except it should be lowercase s. Do sound effect like that. That's the part we're missing, because we don't want to rely. Well, yeah, this wouldn't work anyway. Hold on. It would be sound effect. There we go. So we can get the sound effect property from the resource, and we assign it to the dictionary. Not fine. Oh, right. So this is a resource sound effect at sound effect. Yep, that right there. Same deal. Same deal. Same deal. Okay. And it is config sound effects. Config sound effects. Okay, great. So save that, go back here. Then we have to go back to all the resource files and add the effect type to the file since we didn't do that. So this is our electric crackle. Now, the other way we could do this is we could just use the name of the file and have our dictionary be name maps to the effect type. That would allow us to not have to maintain that enum and not have to set this property here, but would mean that we would have no way of checking statically in any of our places where we're trying to play sound effects. Is this a valid sound effect? So that's the trade-off, right? So flexibility versus error checking. Fire crackle, yeah. And these are saving, yeah. Okay, great. Player attack hit. Player attack hit. Turret fire is turret fire. Zombie death is zombie death. Zombie groan. Zombie idle groan. Okay. Easy peasy. What else? Oh, we want to make a default. We want to make a default sound effect. Just to have something playing until we define all the sound effects. Default. With no pitch variation to be annoying. And in fact, that's what we'll do. Let's go make an audio let's go make an audio effect that is annoying. Oh, I have desktop audio muted. That'd be it. Okay, maybe not that. Yeah, that's fine. Honestly, we just need something to put in there so that we know when we've hit something that we're you know, supposed to replace. Should we move these? I think let's move these into combat. And then, right, so here we need to add our audio sample. That's our blip select. Perfect. And then, did we break the player attack hit? It's still there, right? Where's the play button? The other one's had a play. I guess maybe if it's Og Vorbis. Okay, so if we open our soundboard scene and played the scene, we broke it. Could not find type sound effect on line 78. Great. 78. What do you mean? Oh no, in soundboard.gd. Right. 78. Right. It's resource sound effect. What else did we break? Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so could not find type sound effect under base audio manager. Ah, right. So you have other places in the code base that want that sound effect. Is it sound effect? Yeah. So where in the code base are we referring to sound effect? And it's okay. I guess what we can do, let's just replace this with this. Alternatively, how do we feel about switching, like moving sound effect, moving this back to the audio manager? I don't know. I think this is easy enough to just do that. Let's see what else is still broken. That's not good. That is not good. So shouldn't this be run current scene, yeah? I mean, sure, it does all the auto loads, but okay, we're doing something wrong here. We must have an infinite loop. I bet in the place where we just changed things here. Yeah, so we get the next directory and we say while file name is not equal to empty string. We never get the next result. File name equals, there we go. There, okay. Okay, yeah, we're kind of missing the end of that loop. That makes sense. There we go. So now you see the soundboard is much smaller because it only is displaying categories where we had things, and so we removed all the placeholders for instead of having a default. Like so. I think one thing, maybe this is so quiet. So if we run the game, hey, we have a game, by the way. I haven't actually shown this on screen today, but there is a game. We have settings, we have audio, we have the master volume down at 24%. So that might be part of it because I suspect this a little tool respects our audio settings. Maybe. That's great. Okay, cool. So, first thing I want to do is let's make a commit with all of these changes. Yeah. Potentially there is a way to break this up into multiple commits, but things are pretty mixed together at this point. So I'm just gonna have Copilot here generate a commit message. Let's see what it says. Okay. Add new sound effects. Update sound effect resources. Add new sound effect for zombie death. Sound effects for zombie death. Updated corresponding. It's so funny. I often see these commit messages that are generated will treat things that have been moved or renamed as if they were being created for the first time. This might be the first time I've seen it like treat a new thing as if it's just an existing thing. Whatever, doesn't matter. Create new resources for things. Yep. Update sound effect resources including yep. Add a pitch variation parameter. Updated existing sound effect resources include audio. Okay, sure. Except there were no existing ones. Provide sound effect resources. Okay. Commit number 1. I will push up. I'll push the branch now, but we'll get the PR open at some point. All right. So what do I want to do next? Well, how are we using the sound effects? Right. So we've already seen, and we have a method here on the audio manager to play sound. So there are places where we are playing a sound. Specifically, like in the attack component, we actually provide a mechanism to configure what the hit sound should be. 2 months ago we did that, or at least that's the last time we touched it. I think the default is just the player attack hit, which is what we maybe want. Actually, I think we need to split this because I think we want to do both a attack sound and we want a hit sound. Maybe. Right? So like think about a turret. The turret So all of our attacks are instant right now. In other words, like when the turret fires, whatever it attacks is just hit. There's not like travel distance or anything like that. I don't think we need to do that. But it feels like there should be multiple sounds that can happen. We definitely, so we have like for the electric fence, we're using this passive damage component that has its own dedicated damage sound. But I think this is wrong. Like the things that are doing damage should have a sound. That should be the sound of the attack. And then the things that are taking damage, which would be like the health component, should be doing something. And then I also see here we have tick sound. This is on our damage over time effect. I don't know that we're using this component, but this also just defaults to the player attack hit sound. Oh, so we claim it's for the electric fence. Okay, so interesting. And then we have our achievement sound. We don't need to mess with that right now. We have our soundboard. We have test files. We have the audio manager. So it's really, currently it's these 3 files that are doing things. But the only way that we're applying damage is through hitting something that has a health component. So if we look at the health component, I feel like we probably want a sound to be played a couple of different ways. Yeah, and then so we do provide an audio player on components. And it's an export. So what we can do is the thing that has the attack component or the health component has its own audio player, which may be like positionally based, and then we can provide the audio player to the attack component or to the health component is the idea, right? So we'll do something like, we'll just copy this, and we're gonna add an export group. Health settings, export group, SFX, sure, and then we just do this. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, hey, the default here should be default. So we're gonna do that. And then yes, like if I don't explicitly say it should be something, we're gonna have a default to the default sound, so that we get, you know, some indication that something is incomplete. In all of these. Oh, I like enable. Why would we have that? Why is that? I don't think we need that boolean. That seems unnecessary. I mean, I get why we might not want that in some circumstances, but that feels like a global thing. We should probably log if there's no audio player. Something like that. I suspect that I did not configure the audio player for these different components. Here's a question. Yeah. For these components, no, we don't extend, like we're not creating like a hierarchy. These don't inherit from each other. Good. And so then in ready, great. Now, when we take damage, we would like to, yeah, play hit sound if audio player is assigned. We're gonna add another sound here. Death sound. Which we will handle in die. Ta-da! All right. So I think that will provide all the hooks we need to actually make audio work in the game. Now in Godot, we need, let me just, for safety, reload the current project. we go through all of our different things that can do damage or take damage and adjust them. So that should be things and entities, right? So like enemy.tscn is our base enemy scene. It has a health, right? It has a health, and so but it doesn't have a hit sound or a death sound. But these should be the sounds that this enemy will emit, right? So the hit sound for the zombie is player attack hit for now. We might add another one, or like add some granularity to what that means. And then death sound is zombie die, zombie death there. And we need a audio player to be able to play audio. So we had a child node. There should be an audio stream player 2D, right? So then that will give us audio that is relative to the location of not 2D, sorry, 3D. It's like, why am I in 2D? Because I selected a 2D node. Audio stream player 3D. We can have fun with it, right? We can just be like, the audio comes from the zombie's mouth. We're not gonna be this is not the kind of game where that's gonna be super significant that it's like right from there, but we can do it. So we just need this, and then we need to set the bus to sound effects, and we could do, you know, various things with the settings here, but that's fine. What we want to do is we're going to go into health, and we want to assign our audio player. Can we not do that? Audio stream player 3D. Audio stream player. Can we... It's interesting. Isn't audio stream player 3D a subclass? No. It's a subclass of Node 3D. Right, so what did we say that the health is taking? It's taking an audio stream player. We can't assign audio stream player 3D to that. Huh. That's not what I was expecting when I set this up, right? So audio stream player, a node for audio playback. So maybe we need a... Let's take a look at... Okay, this inherits from node. To use this node, member stream needs to be set to a valid audio stream resource. Playing more than one sound at the same time is also supported. Okay. So there's a method to play the audio stream. So I guess maybe I just say specifically this is a audio stream player 3D. Like that is the type of the thing. Now, audio manager play sound is expecting just a generic audio stream player. just, it's a variant. And we'll just not have type checking here for this, right? So the way this works is we set the stream when we do play sound in Audio Manager, and we can set the pitch scale, and then we can play, right? So as long as whatever is being passed here implements this interface, then it should be fine, right? And then that works. So everywhere where we were using Audio Stream Player, we probably want to accept Audio Stream Player 3D. Because we will want like 3D position-based sound for things. Do I want to just do a find and replace for everything except for the soundboard? No, because also not there. In the main scene, do we... Okay, so there'll be some consequences for changing it. I'm not gonna... So, achievement notification. We create an audio player, audio stream player, and we connect that to... Okay, that's fine. We won't need to change that. Passive damage. So here, we'll change this to that. Health is already changed. And we'll just change this for dot effect, and that should be all the things that we need to change to make this work, right? So when I click assign, now I can select the Audio Stream Player 3D, and so the sound that comes from hitting the zombie will come from the zombie's mouth, I guess. And then attack, we want to do something similar. There we go. So when the zombie attacks, the sound will come from the zombie's mouth, I guess. What about the idle sound? Kind of just like this randomly emitting a sound as the zombie's moving around the world. Maybe we make a separate component that is a thing that will... Yeah, I think that will be a very easy component to write. It won't need to integrate with hardly anything. So let's make a component. We're gonna create a folder. Not do whatever I just did. We're gonna create a folder called idle sounds, and we're gonna create a file called idle sounds. GD. And this will be extends node 3D, class name, component idle sounds. It can have a sound effect. It can have a player. We also want... I mean, I don't think we need a group here. There's not that many things. We also need something that's like min idle interval, max idle interval. Like how long in between do we play the sounds? The sound effect. And it's just one effect, right? We're saying play this effect and do it every 5 to 15 seconds. Yeah, something like that. We'll have a timer. We'll have a ready function. Nope. Connect. Yeah, except we don't need any of that. We just say on idle. Timer timeout. Okay. We don't actually need to do this registration thing. This is what I was trying to get at before, is that because this is freestanding in the sense this does not at all need to interact with the parent other than the reference of the audio player that we'll configure. So it doesn't need to like do anything to the parent. It doesn't need to like hook onto signals from the parent. We are just going to create a function that I see. Okay, yeah. So in a sense, this is one shot, right? Because when the timer, if true, the timer will stop after reaching the end. Otherwise, it will restart automatically. We're going to change the wait time to be sometime between min and max idle, and then we're going to start the timer again. We will auto start the timer by when we add it to under us in the scene tree. So this should be fine. Essentially what this allows us to do is if we go back to our enemy, we just say, hey, add child node. Should be our idle sounds component. And we say, hey, this will be zombie idle groan. And we assign our audio stream player 3D, so it's coming from the zombie's mouth. And every 5 to 15 seconds, every zombie will make a sound. Easy peasy. So that's that. I think. So we have a sprinter zombie as well. I think we don't have to change anything here, right? This will inherit all the settings that we just applied. We just needed a separate scene to add the sprint component. Theoretically, the sprint component could have like its own audio effect and we could do things there. I think it's fine for now. So that's enemies. For obstacles, like the electric fence, is there anything? So dot effect here is our custom component. It has audio. We can assign an audio player. To do this, we need to add an audio player to the scene, like so. And then we go to dot effect and we say audio player is this. And then the sound, maybe the sound is electric crackle. So tick sound was supposed to be the sound it makes when it is doing damage to adjacent zombies, which is not quite. Let's do this. Let's do player attack hit. I think that's what we want to do. We could have a separate audio effect for like electrocution attack, but then what we can do is we can add another child node. This will be our component idle sound, and we can assign it to play the crackle sound. Because that was the intent of this particular sound effect, was to be an ambient effect. And so we might make this every 10 to 30 seconds. It'll make a sound. And then we don't, oh yeah, and then the turret. Let's talk about the turret. So the turret has an attack. We need an audio player for the turret so that we have sound coming from it. It can be like right there. If we're going to do that, then I think we need to parent this under turret yaw so that when the turret is animated, we can't see that here. But anyway, when it's animated, the audio will follow the turret, which can be a thing. So this will be sound effect. That makes me think I need to go back and touch the other audio players. There we go. Yeah, sound effect. What about enemy? Did we do it right here? We did. Okay. So for turret, health, sound effects, assign the audio player. So I think we're gonna leave this as default. So what this is telling me is we need some more effects. So if we go into not the audio manager, because we decided we were gonna put it in the sound effect resource. We're gonna have a building damaged and building destroyed sound effects. Oh, one thought, but before we do that, so what I want to do here is I want to say, hey, this should be the building why? Huh. Do I need to like reload the project? Save and close, yes. Why is that not in the drop down? There we go. Building damaged, building destroyed. So we'll want those sound effects, but they don't exist yet. So the thing that I wanted to put a pin in for just a moment to deal with that is that in Audio Manager, if we want to do this slightly differently, right? So what we want to do is we want to say var effect. No. Var config starts null. Then if effect in sound effect configs, we set config. Yeah. Then otherwise, well, sure, we want to log it, right? But what we don't want to return, we want to say config equals sound effect configs default. Then if not config, then we bail out. Then we add this check, and then this all becomes our kind of default path, right? If we get past all the different checks, then we have everything we need to play it. So this will let us, if we select a specific audio effect, but the audio effect isn't configured yet, it will use the default effect. So if we hear the default effect anywhere, that means we've missed configuring an audio effect, and we'll have something in the log as well, right? All right, so that's for health. For attack, I need to do something similar. We need to assign our audio stream player. The hit sound is turret fire. So when we do an attack as the turret, it plays the turret fire sound. And theoretically, we could have like an idle turret sound. Let's go ahead and define it. Why not? We have turret fire. Why not turret idle? So we need our idle component here. And we'll make this somewhat less frequent, and we will have a, I want to set that, but that means we need to get Godot to realize the fact that I've updated that file. Boop, boop, boop. Reload current project. So turret idle. And assign that. And I think I'm going to, we're not going to have it follow the turret. We'll just have it kind of, all the sound will emanate from kind of within the turret. Okay, moving on. So, the other things don't really have special effects, nor do they extend the turret, so they're not going to get the effects from that. Actually, there's a question. So the spike barricade. Oh, you do extend from base obstacle? Is that true? I'm confused. It is an entity placeable obstacle, but you don't have a health. You don't have a health component. So, are you immortal? Spike barricade? Hold on. Let's just, hey, you know, we have an actual game. Let's go into our test scenario. Do we hear things? I bet we'll hear things here in a second. Let's go into the tech tree. Have I unlocked the spiked barricade? I have now. Alright, and then spike barricade. Oh yeah, it doesn't have health. Whoops. Also, you can hear the default sounds. Amongst other sounds. Interesting. Let's one thing that occurs to me that I will help with debugging and might be a good like accessibility feature is something I'll put on the list of things to do. So optionally show list of played sound effects on screen in corner. Excuse me. Right, so just like the first thing that comes to mind is not the version of Minecraft that I'm playing, but more modern versions of Minecraft. There's an option to have essentially like any kind of audio effect, any sound plays in the bottom corner, so you can see. So if you want to play with that sound, or maybe you don't have great hearing, you would be able to see that. And I think that's also good for debugging, because then we can see which specific sound effect is supposed to be playing as well. Anyway, so we've identified an issue, which is the spike barricade has no health component, which means it is immortal, which we can't have. If it's going to take damage, is it going to have sound? I see. So it has passive damage, so it can do damage. Let's add a audio player as well. Let's go back to the 3D view. So we have the audio player kind of like right there. And this needs to be sound effects. Great. Component health here. How many hit points does the spike barricade have? I don't know. 30? Max damage per hit. That's fine. Sound effect settings, so audio player. When this is hit. Oh, I think one thing we might want to have is just a off. I don't know. No. We can do building damage and building destroyed. Yeah. So we'll just have the same sound effect for all kinds of things that are hit by zombies and then destroyed. For passive damage, right, we want to assign the audio player here, and we want to set the damage sound to be player attack hit, right? So when the zombie is hit by the spikes, it'll play that sound. All right, so if we reload the game, and we actually go back to main menu, let's start our test scenario. So I have all the time in the world because we have to go to the tech tree and unlock spike barricade, which I know the tech tree UI needs some love, but we'll get there. Also, I haven't made icons for. Oh, I broke it. Invalid assignment of property key visible with type of bool on base object of type null instance. Okay, so component health is not configured correctly. Why? Why? So health GD 78. 78. Sprite. So, Sprite is something that we're supposed to have. Oh, right. I can't do this the way that I did this, right? So I went and I added a child node, but we can't do that. We actually have to add a scene. So we'll do that after the break.